G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. So here we are in the Debian desktop. Now this one here is not the final of the live GNOME install. I had to install with the graphical installer because I was set on EFI and I couldn't get it running on EFI, so I decided to use the graphical installer instead. Same deal, it's just the GNOME desktop, it's just a different way of installing. So that's how I finalized this. So all I've done is just done an update, added myself to the sudoers file so I can run as sudo instead. Now, this is the one I wanted to look at here. Codex. Now, installing Codex means we need to bring in this multimedia. We need to also do this here, which is bus to main, change it to contrib non-free on all the lines, which I've showed you in some of the past videos. And then you add the multimedia in here. This is the multimedia one here. So that's what I was going to do. Now what happened today is I seen eznix brought out a video, and I told him I liked his little script that he made, and he said let me know whether it works or not. So this is what we're going to do. Make mkeznixOS. Now I hope I can get this right, because he might not be happy with me if I make it look silly. So I've got to remember, I think we need to extract that. So let's do that first. Now, I hope I don't need to go back and watch his video. Just going to have a look at that. So I think he downloaded it straight to, he put it in his home folder, I think. So let's go to that and sudo mk tab to all. Oh, that's not working. Maybe it's all right. So what we need to do is change directories into the make eznixOS folder, because I've extracted that. And yes, I had to go back and watch his video. I just couldn't quite remember how we run that. It was with bash. So we're going into that folder there, which is what we've done. And I believe we run bash mk. So what we need to do is we need to change directories. I think we need to change directories into the second folder, into this one here. So we're going to be going, let's have a look. Change directories into documents, mk eznixOS, and mk again OS, and we are in that folder, I believe, which inside that folder should be the run file there. So I believe we do a sudo bash mk eznixOS, and you'd hear that little beep because it's telling you there's two folders exactly the same name but slightly different. That's why it only went to the IX and not the OS, because the OS is different between the two. Run that. And there we have eznix little script. Now what that does is pretty much everything I want to do, without all the complications, because he's made it so much easier for you to do. Now, I thought I couldn't run this on the GNOME because it says that it's for the XFCE desktop, but I think he's taken that script out for now. So instead of you having to download his XFCE, you can download probably what you want and use his little script to install everything else. And as you see, the D is adding the multimedia. I'm not sure if he's adding contrib and non-free. I cannot remember that. So let's choose A and run that. Okay, so that's done. We want to optimize the sources list. So let's do B. And now you can see contrib, non-free and so forth is there. Looks like that's happening. Now we've got additional software. I cannot remember what that was, but let's just try that anyway. Now reboot now. Now he said, what did he say? You don't have to reboot. I'm just trying now I'm trying to think whether I need to reboot or not. All right, I'll tell you what, we've run A and B. I cannot remember why he said do not reboot. You don't have to reboot for certain reasons. I'm going to reboot. Well, actually, let's cancel that. If you press, I noticed he pressed X to exit, and then we can just exit that, and that's it. I will reboot and come back. All right, so we've done a reboot, just to be sure. Let's open that back up again. Control H to hide hidden files or folders. We are going to open terminal again and change directories again back into documents and there and there. Yes, you can open that in terminal. I do things the long way sometimes. There are other ways to do it. I'll just do my change directory anyway. I'm going to have to learn to do things the fast way. mkeznixOS. Okay, list. So we're going to go sudo bash mk and it will, yep, click OS. Enter that, my password. Okay, now we're back into this. So everything has gone all right so far. Actually, I wouldn't mind opening another terminal just to have a quick look at something. Let's go in new window. Let's just have a look at nano etc apt sources.list. And now you can see it's main contrib non-free. It's all on the buster. It's got the back ports there as well, so that's really handy. We haven't had to do nothing there, so that's a nice little script there, I must say. Pretty excited about that. Now what we'll do is we're down to C, install additional software, so let's do that. So there we have it, additional software installed. And now we've got the add multimedia.org. Now let's just have a quick look at additional software, see what has been installed. I did see a few things there, BleachBit, Asunder, Audacity. So I like Asunder. I like Audacity as well. Chromium. I normally use Chrome, but still Chromium's okay to have on there. BleachBit. I don't normally use BleachBit. Gthumb, Handbrake, Gparted, Libreoffice. Not sure if Libreoffice was there before or not, to be honest. No, it must have been already there, sorry. Pretty sure LibreOffice would have already, yeah, LibreOffice was already there. Robots, I'm not quite sure what that's about. Shotwell, System Profiler, Thunderbird, To Do. So that is a really cool little script. VLC. There might be some weather. I'm not sure if weather was brought in. I should have checked out the apps before I run that, shouldn't I? But that is a really cool little script, and you can do things with users and groups in there as well. That's handy as well. Zulu Mount, Zulu Crypt. I'm not quite sure what they are. I'm not aware of that one. GR Sync, HP Lip Toolbox, and Fax Utility. Laferia, I'm not quite sure what that is. So that is an awesome little script, I must say. So let's have another quick look at, let's open another window here. and do that one again, nano etc apt sources.list, and just have a look. Now we've got no multimedia there. That's what I wanted to have a look at. So let's exit that. So let's run D, add deb multimedia. Let's do that. And it tells you added the deb multimedia. Run multimedia dist upgrade is optional, so I might just give that a miss for now. We'll do f install YouTube DL. I like YouTube DL as well. And updating YouTube DL to the latest version. Awesome. And H will allow you to go to Debian testing. Oh, it's got X at the bottom there. I wasn't even looking at that. So I just remember eznix was typing X into exit. So go to Debian testing. We won't do that. What I might do now is I might actually run the multimedia dist upgrade and see what that does. And you can see it says distribution fully upgraded. So, and it always tells you what it's done before it comes back to here. So that's completed the whole upgrade and the eznixOS script. Looked to me like it's done all the codecs and all that. So the other thing, I'll do the same thing again as what I did before. We'll open new window, check out our sources.list. Oh, so there's actually no repo for, I think the repo's probably been put somewhere else, is it? Normally I add a multimedia repo in the sources.list there. Maybe it's been added elsewhere. I'd have to have a look at his script to see where it's been placed, if I know how to read it. So that's X for exit, and that's exit that. And now we shall, what I'm going to do, I've installed a lot of stuff. I'm going to do a reboot and then come back in. I'm back after a reboot and everything has gone well. So the eznixOS script run very well and has installed a lot of stuff. So the one thing I want to do now is have a quick look at, I'm going to put in a DVD. This is my test on this laptop, is to play a DVD after installing all the required codecs to do that. So I'm going to do that now. I better turn down my volume, to be honest. I think I've seen also mPlayer being installed in here. mPlayer, no it's not. So we'll go with VLC, continue that. Media, open disk, should be that one there. Alright, so we're not having much luck there at the moment. I know it does play on here, I've tried it with Debian before. So I've just installed libdvd css2, so maybe that wasn't installed. So I thought that would have been installed with some of the codecs there, but maybe not. And there we go. So libdvd css2 was not installed. So I would have thought that that maybe have been installed with most of the things that eznix multimedia was. But no, because he's probably just added the multimedia support, hasn't he? So that's right. So that sort of makes sense. So which means if I go to my cherry tree, then that means that if I go to the Debian part of that, with the codecs, then you would need to install, but I'm pretty sure I've seen his lame install and the GStreamer and stuff, so maybe that's all done, just the libdvd css2 wasn't. So that's, Let's just make sure that works. And there we go. And yes, the sound is working. I've already tried that. So that's that done. Let's eject that disk out of there. Now I'll just stick a music CD in there, and we shall use Asunder to see if that picks up the CD in there. So let's go to Asunder, because that's what I normally use anyway. And it's got all the tracks there. Checking disk. Get the disk info from the internet. Normally comes up automatically normally with that, but didn't that time. So preferences, I would prefer MP3. I'm never sure whether to use variable byte rate or not, bit rate. You can go up to 320, 256, okay. And then if we hit rip, cancel that. So that's all working. So that's all working really well. So multimedia is working well, except for let's eject that. Except that we just needed to put that libdvd css2. So I'll put that in the show notes. Let's open that with the text editor, because I've seen Eznix checking this out on his video. Now, this is the install. I'm pretty sure I could probably customize this bit here to suit what I want to install, and take out what I don't want. If there's stuff there, it's got the firmware Linux, so you can see there what he's all the stuff that he's installing. He clearly says you can check it all out yourself. Besides all of that, that is very awesome indeed. So I don't have to go messing around with things. But let's have a look at the tweak tool and see what is on offer in the tweak tool. I'm pretty sure I've seen, what have we got? Add waiter. Icons, it's got Papyrus, which is my favorite. So he's got my favorite in there as well, so I don't have to worry about that. That is awesome as well. So Eznix must know my taste. The only thing when I first started up Simple Screen Recorder, it says there was no system tray for that. So I don't know if that was something installed that tried to detect, because I've never had that happen before. That was just a bit of an oddity there, but that's okay. Now, one thing I would like to try out, we're going to head to GNOME Look. There's a new theme out at the moment. It looks quite nice. I quite like it. And it should be under, let's see, GNOME 3, GTK 3 themes. What are these ones? These are different. This one here, Quogger. Quogger theme, Quogger. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that one. Let's go to Files. We've got Quogger Win Light. Save that. And we've got Quogger Win Dark. I'm going to download all of these and we're going to check them all out. See what they all look like. So they're all completed. Let's go to our folder. Downloads. Let's cut those into home. Control H to show hidden folders. We need a new folder called .themes. Paste them in there, and while they're all highlighted, just extract here. And that'll extract them all in one go. That's that done. Let's go back to home. That's Control H to take away hidden files. Now let's go to our tweaks and see what these themes look like. Now the other thing I probably would like to do is, where is it? Minimize and maximize. I must have that. I can't do without that, really, at the end of the day. And let's go to Appearance and have a look at some of these themes. So Quagga. So that's got a roundish button, just the normal Quagga. We've got Quagga Dark, Quagga Light, and Quagga Win. So the Win one is where it's a big square, and the normal Quagga is roundish in the middle, so the whole thing doesn't light up. Let's just check that out again. So that's roundish there, that's right. And the window and the Quagga Win does what Windows does. Win Dark, Win Light. Quagga Win gives you the black strip along the top, which is what I like. So that's pretty handy. And you got these at the side, highlighting at the side there. Let's check out backgrounds. I don't know if it installed any extra backgrounds or not. Looks like just the Debian defaults maybe. Yep. Background's not too bad at the moment. So that is my Debian install and setup. And as you can see, I didn't have to run through a lot of manual stuff like I normally do. We used the eznix, the mkeznixOS run script to do all that for us. And the only thing I needed to do after that was the libdvd css2. So that's all I had to install there. And if we have a look at, so under the root account, I did a usermod -a-g sudo colon, which means I added my, I did that before I did the video, so just in case anyone was wondering, that's what I did to add my name to sudo's list. And then I rebooted, because you got to reboot after you do that, and then all was good. That's why I was using sudo. And I'll probably put those two in the show notes, because they're the only two that we really needed to do. I wonder, what I was thinking was maybe having go back and look at the documents and the run script for mkeznixOS. Open that with the text editor. I could probably put libdvd css2 in here somewhere and get that to run for me automatically. That would probably be very handy. So that is a great little script there by eznixOS, and thanks Eznix. That's an awesome little tool. It's much appreciated. So that was the post install of Debian 10 Buster with the GNOME desktop, featuring mkeznixOS. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative. And thanks for watching.